has had a very good week of practice. They're anxious to play this game. They want to prove that they're better than their 0-A record would indicate. And as we just mentioned, I think they want to win one for the coach.
The New Orleans Saints have had tremendous success against the AFC over the last 5 years. They are 17-3, and they kick off. Morton Anderson bounced it down to the goal line. John Vaughn brings it back for New England. Across the 20, across the 30. And all the way out to the 42-yard line. A 41-yard kickoff return for the second-year running back out of the University of Michigan. The Patriots take the field, led by quarterback Tommy Hodson, making his third start of the season. He's in for the injured Hugh Millen, who's sidelined with a shoulder separation.
That's a good way for them to start because of the good field position they get on that kickoff return.
Patriots working into a 10-mile-per-hour breeze in the first quarter. They go to the run on first down. Leonard Russell broke a tackle, and he picks up 5 out to the 48-yard line. Hodson handed the ball off to Leonard Russell. Tommy Hodson, 25 years old, in his third year out of LSU. It is a makeshift offensive line. Gene Chilton started at center last week against Buffalo. He is the only offensive lineman in the same position from a week ago. Stevens and Russell in the backfield, McMurtry and Fryer the wideouts for Tommy Hodson. 2nd and 5, New England, just shy of midfield. The tight end Marv Cook came in motion. Russell again across midfield. He has a first down at the New Orleans 46.
They got a good push up front, and also Russell did a good job of starting inside and popped it outside.
And the defense for New Orleans, a veteran front three. They average 31 years of age. 4 Pro Bowl linebackers in Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Swilling. And in the secondary, Toy Cook and Reginald Jones, the corners, Gene Atkins and Brett Maxey, the safeties. 1st and 10, New England at the 46 of the Saints. Hodson to throw for the first time. Looking for Fryer. It's batted away. Nice defensive play by the free safety, Gene Atkins, the 6th-year man out of Florida A&M.
They had a zone to that side, and as a result, why it looked like it might be man-for-man coverage, a good play-action fake, throwing to the left side. And he comes over and makes a great play on the ball. Good anticipation by Atkins.
That's one of the things the Patriots lose with Hodson in there instead of Millen. Millen, a better thrower down the field. Hodson excellent in the short and medium range passes. Again, it's Russell pulling his way down to the 40. Russell's had a tough year. He was the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year last season when he rushed for almost 1,000 yards. But this season, he's averaged just over 3 yards per carry, and he limps off after a gain of 6.
Been talking to the coaches yesterday. They have a great deal of respect, and justifiably so, for this great defense of the New Orleans Saints. They said they got to run at them, and they got to keep the pressure off the quarterback. They hope they can get by with only 2 sacks.
Hodson to throw on 3rd and 4. The tight end Cook had it knocked away. Brett Maxey batted the ball away from Marv Cook. It's 4th down, and the Patriots will punt.
Here we see the replay. Man-for-man coverage on the outside. And again, good coverage, good tight coverage. And I think one of the things that have helped the New Orleans Saints this year is their secondary has been much improved over past years. They're doing an excellent job.
Sean McCarthy hangs up a high punt. A fair catch called for and made by Marcus Dowdell at the 9-yard line. A 32-yard punt for Sean McCarthy.
You know, Sean, with the kind of field position they had.
As the Saints go on offense for the first time this afternoon, led by Bobby Hebert. Hebert has never lost to an AFC team as a starting quarterback for New Orleans. He is 13-0 lifetime against teams from the AFC. The Saints come out with only Craig Hayward lined up behind Hebert. And he gets the call on first down from a 9. He got across the 10, and that's all. Stacked up by most of the New England defenders after a gain of 2. Hebert, the quarterback, in his 7th season with the Saints. And an excellent offensive line in front of him. That group of Cooper, Dombrowski, Hilgenberg, Kennard, and Brock, along with the tight end Brenner, has allowed only 9 sacks all season. Dunbar and Hayward in the backfield. Quinn Early and Eric Martin, the wide receivers. 2nd down and 8. Dalton Hilliard lost the football. It's free at the 15-yard line. The Patriots think they've recovered. And New Orleans got it back. Looked like Derek Kennard was at the bottom of the pile for the Saints. Hilliard stripped of the ball, and the Saints fortunate to get it back.
Yeah, here again, New England, if they're going to win this game, have any chance to win the game, they have to take advantage of those kind of things. They didn't on the first drive. Now they had an opportunity to recover a fumble. They didn't do that either.
Looked like David Poole stripped the ball free. Was Poole, number 27. 3rd and 3 for the Saints. They'll operate out of the shotgun. And a flag flies. The Saints took too much time.
See, and the other thing they like to do in this situation, they like to go to Martin, or if he's covered, then they like to go to Dalton Hilliard.
Johnny Greer is the referee today. That's the first penalty of the football game. It goes against Jim Morris Saints. As you check scores from early action around the NFL, the Saints face 3rd down and 8. Hebert nearly intercepted. Knocked away by Maurice Hurst. He's had an up-and-down year. Bobby Hebert said yesterday Hurst capable of making the outstanding play, but from time to time he's had his problems this year.
Well, he's had a stock market year at best. It's been up and down, and he realizes it, but he's a very good prospect, and they think he got tremendous potential for the future.
Tommy Barnhart on the punt for New Orleans. He's leading the NFC in punting average at better than 45 yards per punt. Walter Stanley plays it on a bounce, has trouble with it at the 45 of New England. And he swarmed under and returned of 3 to the 48-yard line after a 44-yard punt by Barnhart. No score. We've played 4.5 minutes in Foxborough.
Is sponsored by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox, they're smart, very smart. And by Miller Lite, it's everything you want a beer to be.
Not quite a sellout here, but considering the chilly temperatures and the 0-8 record of the home team, better than 50,000 in attendance, and that's pretty good in Foxborough. Tommy Hodson under pressure, threw a pop-up to the Patriots sideline. He was about to go down in the arms of Wayne Martin. Frank Warren was also in his face. And Hodson says one of the keys for him today is to throw the ball away and avoid the sacks.
Watch Wayne Martin, gets a free shot in there, gets great anticipation, a good jump on the ball, but Hodson got rid of the ball just in time. Very close.
Hodson's intended receiver, Dante Scarnecchia, the team spokesman, filling in for Dick McPherson today. Tommy's 0 for 3 this afternoon. No score with 10:24 to play in the first quarter. Leonard Russell bounces ahead for a couple. We noted that Russell's statistics have fallen off a bit this year, and Dick Corey, the Patriot offensive coordinator, said yesterday part of that is that Russell's been banged up for most of the season, and the other part of that is they've been behind so often this year they haven't been able to run the football.
And the other thing is he's only carried the ball about 10 times a game. He's averaging 3.2, but he's capable of doing a lot better than that, and they expect him to be that kind of a back the rest of the season.
Russell gained 1 on the last carry, setting up 3rd down and 9 for New England, just shy of midfield. The inside handoff to the fullback, John Stevens. Trying to turn the corner, he couldn't do it. Sam Mills was in pursuit. He brought him down well short of the first down. 4th down and about 5 coming for the Patriots, and Sean McCarthy's on the punt again.
Watch the handoff now. He starts to go inside, it goes outside. He doesn't have enough speed. He's carrying the ball in the wrong arm. But the linebackers from the inside, Mills especially, got a good jump on the ball. You're not going to get away from him when you're trying to outrun sideways and get outside.
Reginald Jones was also in on the 3rd down stop. McCarthy's punt handled again by Dowdell. Better field position this time for the Saints. They'll start at the 22 after a 26-yard punt. John McCarthy, 6'6". And the New England defense, Tim Edwards, starting at defensive end for the injured Ray Agnew today. He's out with an elbow dislocation. Several injuries in the linebacker core as well. Dwayne Sabb, a rookie, starting for Andre Tippett. And in the secondary pool, Hurst, Brown, and Gordon. Gordon starting for the injured Randy Robbins. On 1st down, the Saints go to the run with Vaughn Dunbar, the rookie out of Indiana. He's ahead for a couple to the 24-yard line.
Here we see it again coming to the right side with the right guard pulling on the play. Hayward gets a good block on the pushing the linebacker to the outside and the safety, really. But by the time the back gets there, why, they close it in a big hurry.
Dunbar, the 1st-round draft pick of the Saints this season, the 21st player selected overall. He gained 2 in 2nd and 8 for New Orleans. No score. 8:05 to play in the first quarter. Dalton Hilliard close to a 1st down as he crossed the 30. He avoided the grasp of Brent Williams behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Williams got penetration. He should have made the tackle in the backfield, but blew the tackle. And as a result, why Hilliard bounced through there for a big gain.
Hilliard's been seeing more and more action the last couple of weeks.
Oh, he's a super back, and the great thing about it is on passing situations, you don't have to make a substitution for him. He's an outstanding receiver along with being a great runner and also a very fine blocker.
3rd down and 1. The Saints at their own 30. Hilliard did not appear to get there. He needed to go just across the 31-yard line. And as you can see, they're going to spot him down shy of the 31, and already the punting unit of the Saints is coming onto the field.
The defense of the New England Patriots really got good penetration. Look how low they are. They're coming off the ball. Tim Goad comes in there from the inside, but outside, the defensive back comes in there and makes the play. And they stop him short of the 1st down.
Tommy Barnhart on the punt for the 2nd time. He's punting with the wind, and that's a good kick. Walter Stanley from his own 29 and running in the wrong direction. Thrown down back at the 23-yard line. Frank Wainwright, the backup tight end, down on special teams. A 41-yard punt, a return of -5. We'll be back in just a moment. Mora has his son, Jim Jr., on the staff as the defensive backs coach. And Patriots defensive coordinator Joe Collier is joined on the New England staff by his son, Joel Collier, who works with the Patriot running backs.
New England has to be very careful in this part of the field. They can't afford to make a mistake and provide the Saints with an opportunity to get better field position.
Patriots have good field position to start the game as the result of the opening kickoff return by Vaughn. Now with the penalty, field position is shifted to the advantage of the Saints. Now Vaughn fumbles, loose football, recovered by New Orleans at the 11-yard line. Pat Swilling fell on the ball for the Saints at the 11.
That's what happens. See, they have good field position. They're an excellent team defensively. They do a great job of scraping the ball loose. And here in this situation, after the punt exchange, they wound up with bad field position. They give the ball away. Watch this now. There's a good cavity inside. He runs to the outside, a little hesitant, going through the hole, gets the ball knocked out of his hands. And there it's rolling around. Saints recover.
Brett Maxey knocked it loose. This is the same old story for Dante Scarnecchia and the Patriots. They've lost 15 fumbles now, most in the NFL. Their turnover ratio is -14. They've got 14 more turnovers than takeaways. That's also worst in the NFL. If you're looking for the biggest reason why they're 0-8, that's it. Craig Hayward gained nothing on first down, thrown down by the rookie Dwayne Sabb.
You know, that time they had a wing back on the left side. The wing back had the linebacker outflanked. The corner was off. A good place to run in that last play was really outside rather than inside.
Defense has not been a problem for New England. As a matter of fact, quarterback Hugh Millen says the defense has played well enough for the Patriots to be 6-2. But they're 0-8. The Saints face second down and 9 to the 10-yard line of New England to score this game. Again to the ground with Hayward, and again very little. Perhaps another yard, and that's all. Tim Gordon up from his safety spot, and again the rookie Dwayne Sabb on a Division I AA at the University of New Hampshire was in on the stop. Sabb, a fifth-round draft choice for the Patriots in 1992. Two running plays for the Saints after the turnover.
We got 4 wide receivers in the game.
On 3rd and 8. Hebert with all kinds of time. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown Saints. Quinn Early. Well, when you have that kind of time, you're going to find somebody open.
They had no rush whatsoever. Hebert had all the time in the world. They have 2 receivers on one side, 2 on the other. Early is on the outside. And Hebert knows exactly where the line of scrimmage is. Early pops open into the middle area. They throw the ball to him. Touchdown.
Morton Anderson. On for the extra point out of the hold of Barnhart. No surprise that is good. He's now made 109 in a row. So the Saints capitalize on the fumble by John Vaughn. And they take a 7-0 lead, just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter in Foxborough. Anderson set to kick off following the touchdown by New Orleans on the 9-yard touchdown pass from Bobby Hebert to Quinn Early. Walter Stanley and John Vaughn back to receive the kickoff. Vaughn with the early highlight of the game with the 41-yard kickoff return. Things turn south for him in a hurry with the fumble that set up the touchdown. He'll have another chance from the 1. Another good return by Vaughn. This time he's out to the 31-yard line. Three plays to score following the fumble recovery by Pat Swilling. And the touchdown, 9 yards, Hebert to Early.
Here we see the fumble. Now Maxey makes the hit and creates the fumble opportunity and swirling out to the right, recovers a, watch it right out here, and he recovers a fumble, and it provides the Saints with the opportunity with good field position going to score.
Hodgson throws to a wide open Mark Cook, the tight end. He's down at the 35-yard line. For an NFL Today update, let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Sean, let's take you down to Tampa, where Steve DeBerg drops back and gets hit by Al Noga and fumbles. Carlos Jenkins is there for the recovery and the return. 22 yards and a touchdown, and the Vikings lead the Bucs 14-0 first quarter. Sean?
Thank you, Greg. Hank, the Vikings keep rolling right along. A big surprise and a pleasant one.
Yes, I saw them Monday night in Chicago, and the first time I saw them, and boy, they've been very, very impressive. They were terrific against the Bears, and they're just a good, solid football team.
On 2nd and 5, Hodgson in trouble and down, back at the 30-yard line. That's the first sack of the day for New Orleans. Brett Maxey came on the safety blitz.
A good call and good timing on the part of Maxey. You'll see him come into the picture. There you see him make the tackle. Good anticipation on the part of Maxey.
8-year veteran out of Texas Southern. Not many of the numbers for the New England offense impressive, including the number of sacks allowed. 38 now. Hodgson out of the shotgun on 3rd and 10. Wobbling pass incomplete. Crowd wanted a flag. It was intended for Greg McMurtry, and he was well covered by Vince Buck.
And here again, he was very lucky to get rid of the football that time. Good pressure again by the Saints. They came into the game with the idea that they want to run when they expected pass and pass when they expected run. That time it was an obvious passing situation, and the Saints were right there to make the play.
And Sean McCarthy on to punt it away to Marcus Dowdell. Bear in mind that McCarthy is punting into the wind. Last one didn't go very far. This is a low, wobbly punt, handled at the 36. And down at the 36 goes Dowdell. Dwayne Sabb down covering the punt. A 34-yard punt. Nothing on the return. So the Saints get it back again, leading 7-0 with 3:15 to play in the first quarter. There is a late flag again. The officials sorting it out.
There is no infraction on the play. First down.
You wonder why he dropped the flag then.
The wind probably blew it out of his pocket.
Well, these officials better be on their best behavior today, because Jerry Seaman, the supervisor of officials, is in attendance and watching them closely.
The Saints wind up with good field position again. They're the kind of a team that at this stage of the season especially, they've got to take advantage of these opportunities.
They begin at the 35-yard line.
They ought to run left if they run. Oh, they're changing the defense.
Play action pass for Hebert. That's complete. Out to the 41-yard line to the tight end, Hobie Brenner. In his 12th year out of USC. Hebert with some fans in the stands this afternoon. His wife and 2 daughters are in attendance. They've been seeing the sights here in New England. Bobby said over the weekend they went to Plymouth Rock, and his daughters were happy to visit the Pilgrims as Thanksgiving approaches.
Yeah, he was concerned about the fact that he wouldn't stay for the game, but I guess I think they made it.
His family is used to the comfort of the Superdome. Not quite as climate controlled here in Foxborough this afternoon. 2nd down and 4 with 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Saints. Again, play action for Hebert. Again, all kinds of time. And that's a completion for a first down to Von Dunbar. He made it out to the 47-yard line, picked up the first down by a yard.
Bobby took a lot of time on the line of scrimmage, which indicates that he changed the play at the line of scrimmage and knew exactly where to go to get the first down. Dunbar gets the distance, makes the catch, first down, Saints.
Dunbar, very talented guy, Hank. It seems like once he figures out what he's supposed to be doing in this pro-style attack, he'll be much more productive.
I think, as a college back, I think all they did was throw the ball to him, toss it to him, let him run. There's a lot of other things involved in being a runner in the pro football, and that's what he's going through right now. He's going to be awful good, though. Again,
play action. Hebert into Patriot territory and into the slide at the 46-yard line. He's about 2.5 yards short of the first down.
Bobby did a good job of, he's looking downfield and spot the big cavity on the inside. Big, right there, look at the big hole there. And he takes advantage of it, gets up the field, and gets as much yardage as he possibly could, and slides into second base there and makes good yardage on the play.
Bobby connecting. When he goes to the air, he's 3 of 4 passing for Jim Moore. That's offensive coordinator Carl Smith for Jim Moore's left. And now a 7-yard scramble for Hebert sets up second down and 3 from the New England 46. Less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Dunbar ripped through a big hole. He has another first down at the 39.
The New England defense is shifting from side to side, over-shifting to their left and then over-shifting to their right. And as a result, it looks like Bobby Hebert is doing a good job of waiting long enough for them to shift, and then he calls the play and makes the adjustment according to what he sees.
Time for one more play. The Saints don't have to run a play unless they want to. Game clock less than the play clock. That's the time remaining in the quarter as Hebert looks to throw again. Wide open down the middle. Quinn Early with his second touchdown for New Orleans.
Here again, play action pass, beautiful fake, and Bobby Hebert has all the time in the world to step in the pocket, step up, throw the ball, follow through with a great, great touch. The ball was thrown perfectly. Early sucks it right up and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Beautiful, beautiful play by the New Orleans Saints.
Dante Scarnecchia handling the duties of Dick McPherson today. His team on the short end of a 13-0 score. Anderson makes it 14-zip. On the final play of the first quarter, Bobby Hebert hits Quinn Early for the second time for a score. That play covered 39 yards. At the end of the first quarter, the score, New Orleans 14 and New England nothing. Between Boston and Providence, Rhode Island. And it's a quiet crowd of 50,000 at the moment as the New Orleans Saints, after one quarter, lead 14-0. Sean McDonough along with Hank Stram, delighted to have you with us. The Saints up 14-zip on 2 touchdown passes by Bobby Hebert to Quinn Early. Hebert 3 of 3 on the scoring drive of the Saints. Again, it's Vaughn and Stanley back to receive Morton Anderson's kickoff. Vaughn watches it bounce out of bounds.
We'll take another look at the touchdown. They're playing with double tight ends and 2 wide receivers. Early is to our right. You don't see him in the picture to begin with. Good play action fake. Linebackers dropping. Defensive back take a whiff of the fake. There's nobody there whatsoever. And he goes into the end zone. Beautifully thrown ball by Bobby Hebert. Play action pass. Got done what they wanted to get done because of the fake to hold the defensive people. And he throws a touchdown pass.
Really a smart play by the Saints because that was their last play of the half with the wind at their back, and they took advantage of that to go deep. First 2-touchdown game of his career for Quinn Early. Leonard Russell in trouble. And he did well to limit it to a loss of 2 on the play. The Patriots started at the 35-yard line as a result of the penalty against New Orleans as Anderson bounced the kickoff out of bounds. Gene Atkins all over that running play.
Well, Russell's not fast enough to start inside and then break outside. That's what he tried to do. You try to do that against the linebackers as fast as they are and as good as they react. You're not going to make yardage, and he didn't on the last play. You got to make a decision, right or wrong. You got to slam it in there and get as much out of it as you possibly can. But you can't run sideways, not against New Orleans.
Tommy Hodson and the Patriots looking at 2nd down and 12. Ricky Jackson watched Hodson get away from him. McMurtry down for no gain. He made a good catch of the ball, but when he got up and tried to run, Sam Mills was there for him.
Looks like Ricky Jackson was blitzing on the play. It was man-for-man coverage. Watch Jackson makes a move inside and then gets outside. Number 57 tries to get him from the backside, but he's still over here hustling. You see him come back into the picture and gets a late hit. Great illustration of why he is such a great player. He's all over the place.
Still great at age 34. Jackson in his 12th year out of the University of Pittsburgh. 3rd down, just more than 10 to go for New England 1st down. Hodson with time this time, and the catch is made but out of bounds. Greg McMurtry. And that will bring up 4th down, and the punting performances of Sean McCarthy continue. Hodson now just 2 for 7 for a total of 7 yards passing. He wanted to have a big day today with this game being televised back in New Orleans and Louisiana. Tommy's a native of Matthews, Louisiana, a 4-year starter at LSU, and he grew up a diehard Saints fan.
Yeah, and also I asked him who his hero was as he grew up as a quarterback, and he said Archie Manning. I also asked him why he wore 13. But we'll go back to that in a little bit.
Good punt by McCarthy. Bobbled and free on the field. Dowdell couldn't squeeze it. New England has it inside the 10-yard line. Roger Brown came up with it. Boy, Dowdell has had his troubles fielding punts this season for New Orleans, and now he's having physical troubles. Jim Moore looking out at Dowdell, writhing in pain at the 13-yard line.
It looked like as he tried to go to his right, he slipped and made a split there, lost the ball. But they've had trouble with punt returners all year long. See, it went right on through. He must have taken his eye off the ball because he was trying to catch it right at the numbers where you're supposed to try to catch it, and it went right on through. A lot of times you'll see the oncoming rushers, and as a result, take your eye off the ball and make a fumble, just like he did.
Bobby Hebert sharp in the first quarter with 2 touchdown passes to Quinn Early, the first 2-touchdown game of Early's career. And New Orleans dominating the game statistically, with 70 more total yards than New England. But the big number at the bottom of the screen, the turnover a moment ago by the Saints, that has set up a great chance for New England to get back in the football game. Dowdell couldn't handle the punt. He took a shot from Kevin Turner as the ball squirted away. Dowdell did get up, but then he was knocked down again, and they've been tending to him for quite a while. He is just now coming off the field with the assistance of the New Orleans training staff.
Yeah, after he got made an effort to go after the ball, he got pancaked again from the backside, and I think that's where he got injured.
A couple of weeks ago, he had 3 fumble recoveries because he fumbled 3 punts. He was fortunate to get them all back. Not this time. Roger Brown recovered for New England. And the Patriots are in business.
Well, they're in business. Having good field position is very important. It's good, but you have to take advantage of the opportunity. They've had a couple of opportunities earlier and didn't cash in on it.
1st and goal from the 8. New England has run 15 plays for a total of 21 yards. Russell trying to turn the corner. Touchdown, New England. That's the first rushing touchdown of the season for the New England Patriots.
Here we see a replay. He starts inside, just like we talked about earlier in the game, which they didn't have any success. But everybody gets caught inside. He jumps outside with the ball in the wrong arm. In spite of that, now he changes it going into the end zone. They get the touchdown. Made it look easy, Good execution on the part of New England.
Charlie Bauman hasn't had much practice at extra points this year. That's just his 10th of the season. New England had gone 10 games dating back to last year without a rushing touchdown. Now they have one, courtesy of Leonard Russell. We'll be back in just a moment. With Hank Stram back at Foxborough Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the Saints lead the Patriots 14-7 with less than 2 minutes played in the second quarter. Charlie Bauman will kick off for New England. They needed just one play after the muff punt by Dowdell to score their first rushing touchdown of the year. Vaughn Dunbar with a hole, and he's out to the 30, tackled by Richard Tarditz. David Poole also in on the play as we look back at the New England touchdown.
Watch this again, and watch Jackson right here in this spot. And the back goes right in that area. Jackson goes to the inside, gets caught 51. Look at Sam Mills. He's trying to go to the outside and make the play, takes a bad angle, gets blocked to the outside, and he goes in for the touchdown. Another good-looking play. I shouldn't say another one, but a good-looking play. The only good-looking play of New England so far.
You're right, you shouldn't say another one, but they'll certainly take it. Saints working into the wind in the second quarter. And Hebert has had luck with play-action passes. Not that time. Ball was behind his intended target, Torrance Small, the rookie out of Alcorn State. The Cowboys roll right along.
That time the play-action fake, they were in a 3-deep zone. And look again, every time Bobby Hebert throws the ball, goes back into the pocket, he's got all the time in the world, especially from play-action passers.
Looking at David Poole. It's a solid but unspectacular corner. Seen Hebert spread his passes around. He has not been picking on any particular member of the New England secondary. Back to the run, look out. David Howard, clothesline, Dalton Hilliard back at the 26.
David Howard really got through there in a big hurry. Watching number 99 on the outside. Nobody touched him. He gets... You talk about a gum grabber. That was one.
Howard playing for the injured Chris Singleton, starting at right outside linebacker today. That was a loss of 3, 3rd and 13 for the Saints. Four-man rush for New England. Hilliard with some running to do. He won't get there again. It's his newest best friend, David Howard, there to make the play. At the 33, about 7 yards short of a first down. They haven't had much reason to cheer in Foxborough this year, but many of them on their feet at the moment for David Howard and the New England defense. Tommy Barnhart, leading punter in the NFC, he says he'd like to go to the Pro Bowl this year. He says only then will he be recognized as one of the game's best.
Well, he should go to the Pro Bowl. He's having a fantastic year, and he is one of the game's very best punters.
Line drive punt, Walter Stanley tripped up after return to the 43-yard line. A 31-yard punt, an 8-yard return. The Patriots go on offense, down by a touchdown. Off to the third best start in franchise history. At 6-2, they're looking for their 5th straight win this afternoon. And Dante Scarnecchia, they're not calling him the interim head coach. He says it is Dick McPherson's team. I am simply the staff spokesman. And I'll represent the players and coaches with the media, but that's it. Tony Hodson on 1st and 10. Throws complete to Irving Fryer. Out to the 49-yard line. First catch of the day for Irving Fryer.
Man-for-man coverage on the play, and they like that, especially with Fryer.
Irving now 30 years old. Seems hard to believe that it was all the way back in 1984 that he was the first player selected in the entire NFL draft. He's getting better with age. He had his best season of his career last year when he caught a career-high 68 passes. He picked up 5 on the completion from Hodson. 2nd and 5. Flag down. Russell, another flag flies. First one thrown at the line of scrimmage. The second one thrown in the middle of the pile where you'd expect holding. Russell got very close to the first down if the play stands, but that's not likely. Both flags against New England. Dick McPherson, by the way, is not watching today's game. It is not being televised in the New England area because it's not a sellout.
We have 2 fouls on the offense. Illegal formation, offense, men not up on the line of scrimmage. Holding, 77, offense. The illegal formation is declined.
And it's a good thing Coach McPherson couldn't see that play. 2 penalties against his team. Dick McPherson, we are told, is listening on the radio to the game today from his hospital bed in Boston, about 30 miles from Foxborough Stadium. We certainly send our best wishes out to him. What a wonderful gentleman he is.
Oh, he certainly is, and he's very anxious to get back in the saddle again, and I don't know how long it's going to be before he's able to jump on that horse.
On 2nd and 15, the delay to Russell didn't fool the Saints. He danced ahead to the 40, and that's all. Pat Swilling in on the stop.
And of course, the Saints have 5 defensive backs in the game at that time. See, this is the kind of a thing, you know, when you're an 0-8, when you have opportunities, you don't take advantage of them. They've had several good field position opportunities, but they really haven't taken advantage of it, except on the touchdown on the last series when they went in for the score. They made it 14-7.
And this is the situation you never like, but particularly you don't like it if you're going up against the New Orleans defense. 3rd down and 14. Patriots 0 for 4 on 3rd down today. Another flag down. Hodson down. Back at the 32-yard line. Frank Warren sacked him. But let's check out the flag.
Illegal motion. Number 69, offense, is declined. 4th down.
Eugene Chung moving before the snap. It's declined. They'll take the sack.
Frank Warren, number 73, goes inside, then back outside, makes a good move. Nobody touched him going to the outside. But the initial problem for the offense was the fact that he made an inside move and went outside and got the sack.
2nd sack of the day for New Orleans. They started the day with 28, 2nd in the league behind only Cincinnati. New England has given up more sacks than any team in the NFL. That's a bad combination for the Patriots. Vince Buck returning the punt. A flag thrown at the 33-yard line. Buck went out at the 36. Another flag flies. A 44-yard punt by Sean McCarthy. A 12-yard return, and now a skirmish along the Saints sideline. Marcus Dowdell, we are told, just had the wind knocked out of him, and he is able to return. But they went with Buck as Dowdell's fumble problems continue. And penalties against New Orleans.
And Buck was lucky that he didn't fumble the ball. He was running to the left with the ball in his right arm. The tackler got a piece of his arm, grabbed his jersey. It would have been a fumble.
Illegal block. Number 92, during the run back.
DeMond Winston, the guilty party. And Buck thrown out of bounds by Deion Lambert. The Saints will have the ball when we come back. They lead 14-7 with 9:22 to play in the first half. Territory following the penalty on the punt. They're back at the 17, and New Orleans moving into the wind in the second quarter, leading 14-7. Long count for Hebert on first down. He gave it to Hayward. And Ironhead crashes out to the 20-yard line, a pickup of 3. Hayward says when he comes to the ballpark, he doesn't expect to carry the ball at all. He knows that for the most part his role is that of a blocking back, and if he gets it, he says it's an unexpected surprise.
Well, he's one of the best blockers in the National Football League. I guarantee you that as a fullback.
Certainly one of the biggest at 260 pounds.
If he's at 260, you really got a scoop.
Vaughn Dunbar broke one tackle and was taken down by Vincent Brown at the 24-yard line. Still about 3 yards short of the first down. Dunbar, the third all-time leading rusher at Indiana University. He rushed for over 1,800 yards last year for the Hoosiers and was the third back selected in the most recent NFL draft. 3rd and 3 upcoming for New Orleans. Tim Gold and the Patriots defense have held Bobby Hebert and company to 1 for 4 on third down conversions to this point.
6 defensive backs.
Hebert, quick toss, complete for the first down out to the 32-yard line. Eric Martin with his first catch of the day, and he has now caught a pass in 82 consecutive games, and he was well covered.
Watch the way Hebert, he's amazing the way he throws this particular slant pass. Watch Martin on the outside. First time he's caught a ball so far. See, he's coming into the inside. He's in the slot and makes the catch on a quick shot from Bobby Hebert.
The all-time leading receiver for the Saints, Eric Martin, with his first catch of the day. It was Rod Smith, the rookie out of Notre Dame, who had the tight coverage. Hebert has a man wide open. Martin into New England territory and tackled by Jerome Henderson at the 40-yard line. A gain of 27 for the Saints.
Man-for-man coverage, another play-action pass. The play-action passes have been super. They got a slot to the right side. Hebert fakes to his left and then rolls to the right. And there you see Martin on a crossing pattern, comes back over to the outside, makes the catch, goes down the sideline, and another big gain for the New Orleans Saints.
Eric, in his 8th season, he was a 7th-round draft pick out of LSU. Overcome that obstacle, become the Saints' all-time leading receiver with 436 career catches. Dunbar tripped up by Eugene Lockhart with help from Dwayne Sabb after a short gain to the 36-yard line. Dallas continues to lead Detroit. Philadelphia has widened its lead over the Raiders. And the Giants look to go above the 500 mark. Minnesota has added a score. They're on their way to 7-2 at Tampa Bay. Miami trying to avenge their loss to Indianapolis earlier in the year. Cleveland leads Houston in the Dome 10-0. 2nd and 6.
Look at all the room on the right side to the receiver on the right side.
Hebert looks to the right and throws over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Quinn early, the ball was underthrown. Maurice Hurst had the coverage.
Well, he throws the ball to the right. He's right inside the right inside the sideline on the right side. Had he just gone back in the pocket and thrown the ball, he probably would have had a chance to complete the pass. Now watch, he fakes here. Look at all the time again. All the time in the world. Look at looks, and finally delivers the ball on the outside. But is covered in good shape.
New Orleans has only allowed 9 sacks all year, tied with Washington for the fewest allowed in the league. The Patriots only have 9 sacks as a defense this year. 7th play of the drive. Hebert completes. Small has the first down. He picked it up by a couple as he went down to the 26-yard line. Again, it was Maurice Hurst who was credited with the tackle. Torrance Small, the rookie from Alcorn State, a 5th-round draft choice.
And they like him too, Sean. He's been getting better and better every week. They talked about him before the game on the field with Jim Finks, and he thinks he's a great prospect, and he's made a terrific contribution to this team so far.
Jim Finks, the general manager of the Saints. 1st and 10. The Saints on the move, trying to build on a 14-7 lead with 5:15 to play in the first half.
Bobby Hebert's changing the play again.
And he didn't get it off. Whistle stopped the play, and the play clock had ticked down to 0 before the snap.
Delay.
Well, that's the second time that's happened to New Orleans this afternoon.
I was surprised if he changed the play that he changed it to a run. There were a lot of people on the line of scrimmage. It looked like 8 guys were on the line of scrimmage that time. And he took too much time trying to get the ball off on that last call. Hebert has thrown 8 completions, 6 to different people so far in this game.
Including 2 touchdown passes to Quinn Early. 1st and 15. From the New England 31, they go to the draw. The draw didn't go far. Von Dunbar tackled by Tim Goad, and now a late flag comes flying in. That flag was thrown well after the tackle. Hebert indicating it's a personal foul against New England.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 99, defense. First down.
David Howard, the guilty party. Eugene Lockhart walked over to Johnny Greer to plead his case. That's a huge penalty. It gives the Saints a first down. They'll march the ball inside the 15-yard line. Well, when you're a big underdog, you can't afford to do things like that.
No, and that's why you're a big underdog, because you consistently do those kind of things in the games you play. So you can't, when you're playing the kind of football they're playing now, they cannot lose the game. If they get beat, that's one thing, but they can't lose. And they lose most of their games because of mistakes like that one.
The toss to Dunbar. And he's driven back after a short gain to the 12-yard line. Vincent Brown led the defensive surge. Lockhart was also there. Vincent Brown, they call him the Undertaker, a nickname he picked up in college at Mississippi Valley State. The radio announcer in Mississippi Valley State gave him that nickname because he buries people.
Yeah, he does too. He's a good one. They like him very much, and justifiably so. He's very active, 6'2", 245, big, strong, a great attitude guy too.
A gain of 2. 10th play of the drive for New Orleans. As you saw, they have had mixed success inside the 20 this year. Only 10 touchdowns and 22 chances. Hebert has Hilliard wide open. He walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints.
Another play action fake. Hilliard fakes inside. He looks right and then goes right back into the flat. Nobody out there to cover him on the play. Tiptoes in the end zone for the touchdown. But the play action passes, Paul Boudreaux before the game on the field indicated that they were going to throw a lot of play action passes. It's a good game plan, and they've executed them terrifically well.
Gordon Anderson tacks on the extra point. So Bobby Hebert has thrown 3 touchdown passes. The most recent covered 12 yards to Dalton Hilliard. New Orleans leads 21-7. We'll return to Foxborough, Massachusetts in just a moment. Best game of his career came 3 weeks ago in Phoenix when Hebert went 19 for 26 for a career-high 355 yards and 3 touchdown passes. He has 123 yards passing and 3 TDs today, and that was a nice drive into this 10-mile-an-hour.
Oh, it really was. An excellent drive, and total offense for New Orleans, 167 yards, New England 27.
The only score for New England came after they recovered a fumble at the 8-yard line of New Orleans. Gordon Anderson kicking off into the wind. Hebert was 4 of 5 on the last drive, and he's 9 for 12 in the game today.
And normally, Morton will kick the ball inside, out of the end zone. Most of the time, we're deep in the end zone. Outside, there's about a 7 to 8 yard difference in the way he kicks the ball downfield. Let's take a look what he does here.
Pretty good line drive kick to the 2. Walter Stanley taken down at the 23-yard line, tackled by James Williams. 1st and 10, New England. The Patriots operate from their own 24. John Vaughn out to the 27, a gain of 3. for the second-year running back out of Michigan. He should be a senior at Michigan this season. He came out 2 years early.
You know, the Patriots so far, Sean, 19 plays, 27 yards, 1.4 per play.
2:45 to play in the half. Patriots have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Hodgson, quick toss, Pryor. Courageous catch in traffic. He knew he was going to get belted, and he did, by Gene Atkins, but he held on for a gain out to the 49-yard line, a pickup of 21.
Jackson was blitzing on the play. It was man-for-man coverage. Here we see the protection. Big hole down the middle gives him an opportunity to look through the people. Gets the ball to Pryor on the outside, man-for-man coverage. First down, New England.
And the Patriots let the clock tick down to the 2-minute warning. The New Orleans Saints lead the New England Patriots 21-7 with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Sean McDonough with Hank Stram, our producer Dan Forer, our director Kathy Barretto. Patriots with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. First and 10, New England. The Patriots in their own 49. Michael Timpson in motion. Tommy Hodgson coming off a 21-yard completion to Pryor, the longest play of the day for New England. That's a short gain to Pryor. He's down at the 45-yard line, a gain of 6.
Ricky Jackson blitzing again to the quarterback's right side. He got rid of the ball just in time.
Hodgson has only been sacked twice. As Hank mentioned earlier, the Patriots said they needed to hold the sacks to a maximum of 2 today, so they can't allow any more to keep to their game plan. Hodgson drills it in. First down, New England. Greg McMurtry with the catch at the 38.
That time they were in a 2-deep zone, and he hit the middle area right where the void was on the defense.
Patriots still have not used any of their timeouts as the clock ticks down to 1:05. On first and 10. Look out! Again, Hodgson just did get it away. No indication that that was considered a pass.
That time they had a 3-deep zone, and Ricky Jackson blitzing on the outside. Almost got another sack.
I think they're going to call that a fumble because they've marked the ball ahead of the line of scrimmage. Now the officials are conferring. They've given New England a gain of about 1.5 yards at the moment.
Watch Jackson coming, shedding the offensive tackle, goes to the inside and gets a late hit. I shouldn't say a late hit, but a hit on the quarterback. Here we see Jackson. It's amazing how well he's played for such a consistent period of time.
Incomplete pass. Second down.
The officials got together and decided it was a pass, and it did look like Hodgson's arm was coming forward. Hodgson had hit 4 in a row prior to that incompletion.
The way they're coming, I'm surprised they haven't thrown some kind of a screen, Sean. They haven't thrown a screen so far in the game.
Second and 10, under a minute to play in the half. Hodgson, incomplete. Cook was open, but Hodgson was scrambling for his life. That'll set up third and 10. Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry with all the scores and highlights from today's NFL action. Plus a look at the latest trend in the NFL, the ump bump. Look forward to that. I've seen you do the ump bump.
I want to see that. You got to have some good moves to do that, I'll guarantee you.
Sometimes those officials can inadvertently be in the way. Third and 10. The Pats 0 for 5 on third down. Hodgson thrown down back at the 46-yard line. Third sack of the day for New Orleans. Pat Swilling got him this time.
The last time both linebackers, Swilling and Jackson, came. This time Swilling comes in and gets the sack. Watch Swilling on the right side on Harlow. Look at the push. Harlow is playing left tackle. He normally plays right tackle, and he's over there with a different stance than he normally has to use, and he was very concerned about that going into the game, and I can understand why.
Well, the normally conservative Saints have decided to get greedy here in the first half. They've called a timeout to get the ball back with time to do something. 47 seconds left as New Orleans burns its first time out of the half. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New England Patriots, and the National Football League is prohibited. So the Saints, after the timeout, might they try to block the punt of Sean McCarthy?
I think they should try to, because if they do, well, they got another great opportunity.
Doesn't look like they're lining up for a block.
No, I don't think they will. They're going to just...
Sean McCarthy hangs it high, and Roger Brown downs it at the 1-yard line. A 45-yard punt for Sean McCarthy. Saints may wish they hadn't used that timeout. Back in a moment.
On this play, they ought to stop it right now. There they do.
Greg Hayward picked up a yard out to the 2. The clock down to 33 seconds left in the half.
If they do that 2 more times, they have to punt. They'll get a chance to get the ball back with a good opportunity to maybe get points before the half.
They'd have to punt into the wind. Dante Scarnecchia, ordinarily the special teams coach and tight ends coach, he says the only area in which he really will act as the head coach today is if it's time for the tough decision about when to go for it on 4th down, whether or not to go for a field goal instead of a punt, and those sorts of things. But other than that, the Patriots are operating as they usually do, with the offensive coordinator Dick Corey calling the plays and Joe Collier the defense.
Yeah, he said nothing changed whatsoever, and the same practice procedure, the time schedule, everything was exactly the same. They didn't want to disrupt anything at all, just wanted to go on just like if Dick was there with them.
Second down and 9. Hayward again.
And they stopped the clock again. They should.
So far, no indication from the Patriots to stop the clock. It's running down to 22.
They're blowing a lot of time. Oh, it took a lot of time to make that decision.
Well, perhaps that's where the lack of a head coach on the sidelines hurts. Dante Scarnecchia said the timeout decision would be his, that ordinarily when Dick McPherson is on the sidelines, he works with Coach Mack on deciding when to get a timeout, but they wasted a good 7 or 8 seconds there.
Yeah, but they should, the player, the captain on the team should have been calling that. He should know enough, and I'm sure that probably the coaching staff said just as soon as you make a tackle, stop the clock, which they didn't do.
Well, the number of times this half we've had the chance to say bad teams do this type of thing, and there's another example of it. You got 1 timeout left, you could see Dante Scarnecchia say.
Teams with a bad record say we've had a lot of bad luck. What really happened was the fact that they've done a lot of bad things. That's why they have that kind of a problem.
Jim Moore had a comment about that last week. Some folks thought the win over Tampa Bay was lucky. He says, I've never seen a bad team that had good luck. In this case, it was a win, perhaps an ugly win, but as the Saints were quick to note, no wins are ugly. 3rd down and 4. 21 seconds left in the half. The Saints lead 21-7. They keep it on the ground. Hilliard dancing for the first down. And now it's a moot point.
See, that's a great run by Dalton Hilliard. He got tackled in the backfield, got hit in the backfield, but the great backs are determined by how much yardage they make after they get hit the first time. That should have been a loss on the play.
That's the end of the first half. With the score, the New Orleans Saints 21 and the New England Patriots 7. Dunbar, good moves to get away from the 10-yard line and out to the 15. Kevin Turner made the tackle for New England with help from Sam So the Saints will be moving into the wind in the third quarter as they try to build on a 14-point lead.
And one thing they did so well in the first half was the play-action passes. They didn't come close to getting any kind of pressure on Hebert at all in the first half. None.
New England is not a big blitz defense. They are out of the bend but don't break philosophy.
Well, they're playing a lot of zone and trying to make them travel slowly.
For the ground with Hilliard on first down. He ran into Eugene Lockhart at the 17-yard line.
See all the red shirts around the ball carrier. That means that they're responding and reacting very quickly to what they see. As a result, the play action pass will continue to be good, just like it was in the first half, because they really take a big sniff of the fake on those play action.
Lockhart playing today for the injured Johnny Rembert. 3 New England starting linebackers out of action this week. Rembert, Andre Tippett, and Chris Singleton. Gain of 2 on the first play of the second half. Second down and 8 for New Orleans. Back to the play action with plenty of time. It's dumped to Hilliard. He's down short of a first down, tackled by Dwayne Sapp.
But here again, football is a game of repetition, and we're repeating what we're saying happened in the first half. But there again, play action pass, plenty of time to throw the ball and get the ball to Hilliard on the last pass.
Third down and 2. Three receivers to the top of your screen.
Now here again, this one he likes Martin or Hilliard again.
It's Martin who couldn't make the juggling catch. He was open, and had he caught it, he had only one defender to beat to go a long way up the near sideline.
Isn't it amazing? You know they're going to throw the ball to Martin. You know they're going to throw the ball to Hilliard, and yet teams cannot stop that play. He was wide open, looked like he ran out of the bleachers. The ball was a little bit high. He bobbled it, falls incomplete, which he very rarely ever does.
There was an bump on that play. One of the New England coverage men picked off by the umpire. Tommy Barnhart came down with a high snap and got the kick away. An outstanding punt into the wind. Walter Stanley had to make a fair catch all the way back at his 26-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt with no return for Tommy Barnhart.
I can't understand why they don't rush Barnhart or rush punters more in the league. They let him. They might as well be back there in a rocking chair because nobody bothers him. If you brush the punter, at least there's a chance that he might be concerned about the rush and maybe kick a bad kick. Barnhart's a great kicker, and if you let him continue to kick like he's kicking without any pressure, he's going to kill you.
The Patriots on offense for the first time in the second half. They're down 21-7. Starting from their own 26, Leonard Russell bounced off the mile, and they're going to say that his knee went down back at the 25-yard line.
The offensive line of New England has gone through a lot of changes, and as a result, it's easy to understand why they're having so much trouble. Armstrong was hurt. He's their best lineman. He got hurt last week.
Reggie Redding also out of there with a foot injury.
Yeah, and go right down the list. Look at all the injuries they've had, so they had to make a lot of adjustments with the offensive line. And we'll go into that further as we go along.
A loss of 1, second down and 11. 5-man rush. Hodgson hit as he threw, and it's incomplete.
Here again, a 5-step drop by Hodgson, but here he just barely got rid of the ball, got hit as he threw the ball. The ball jumps up into the air, falls incomplete. Another good pressure shot. Looked like Jackson again, rushing the quarterback.
Hodgson now 6 for 14. Tommy was the first to tell us yesterday that he has started 11 NFL games for the Patriots prior to today, and New England has only won one of them. Flag down. Hodgson First down, New England, if the play stands. Irving Fryer out to the 41-yard line. Well, let's check out the flag. It was thrown by the official along the near sideline at the line of scrimmage. And they continue to the Patriots to shoot themselves in the foot.
See, every time they've had an opportunity, somehow, some way, they manage to blow it. And there's another illustration on the last play. Good shot to Fryer.
I thought it was great that we had a shot of Dante Scarnecchia, because you joked with him before the game today when you asked him how many of the other assistant coaches did they ask to take over as head coach before you accepted it.
Yeah, how many others turned it down before you took it?
This is Dante's Inferno at the moment. Down 21-7. He's agonizing on the sidelines. Dante Scarnecchia told us yesterday his father named him after the great football star Dante Lavelli. Third down and 16. Three-man rush this time. Hodson underneath, incomplete. McMurtry was open, he missed him.
Yeah, he just threw the ball too high and goes incomplete. But see, that's what happens to you when you get so much pressure on you consistently, like the Saints put on a quarterback. The quarterback wants to make sure that he gets rid of the ball quickly enough, and as a result throws it sooner than he has to throw it, and it winds up being a bad pass.
3 sacks, 6 knocked down. He's been hurried 6 times.
He'll sleep well tonight.
He's playing for the injured Hugh Millen, who's sidelined with a third-degree separated shoulder. McCarthy high, but not very long. Vince Buck, the fair catch at the New Orleans 46, a 34-yard punt for Sean McCarthy. So the Saints get it back for the second time in the second half, leading by 14. Coach Mack receiving his get-well greetings from the New England Patriots cheerleading squad. They are coached by Hugh Millen's fiancée, Lisa Poles. New Orleans looking at 1st and 10 from its own 46. The Saints up by 14 points. Hebert again with all day. And it's caught, as you might expect, with all that time. Von Dunbar close to a first down in New England territory at the 44-yard line.
Hebert's got a good feel for pressure. That time he gets back into the pocket, feels the pressure, escapes to the right, and still gets the ball off downfield to Dunbar, and they pick up a nice gain in the play.
It goes against their philosophy, Hank, but should New England be rushing more people?
Well, they're not doing any good whatsoever, and that time the safety, 41, was up near the line of scrimmage, so they had 8 guys up front, and they still had no pressure whatsoever on the quarterback to speak of.
On first down, Craig Hayward pulls ahead for 3. The second all-time leading rusher, University of Pittsburgh, behind only the great Tony Dorsett. 16 yards rushing today for Hayward on 7 carries.
He fills out that jersey in good shape, doesn't he?
Down to 10:23 to play in the third quarter. Saints leading 21-7. Looking at 2nd down and 7. They keep it on the ground. Hilliard with a good haul. With the first down and more. Tripped from behind by Eugene Lockhart, and that might have saved a touchdown. A gain of 15 for Hilliard as he stumbled down to the 25.
Yeah, he looked like he was going all the way. Nice blocking at the point of attack. They block down. They pull to the outside, knock the linebacker to the outside. He goes through the gaping hole and got tripped up, or else he'd have gone all the way.
Most backs don't like to run on the natural grass. They prefer the sure footing and fast service of artificial turf. But Hilliard said yesterday he likes playing on the grass. Yeah,
and every player we talked about or asked about the synthetic turf and grass, they all prefer grass.
Hebert for Martin. Nice catch. Hands outstretched. He's out of bounds with a first down at the 8-yard line. 17-yard gain. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
At the Superdome, or at the Silverdome, Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin, 57 yards to the 1. Emmitt Smith took it in for his 3rd from there, 27-3 Dallas. Sean?
Thank you, Greg. Here in Foxborough, 21-7 New Orleans, and the Saints looking to build on that lead.
Now this time he gets back in the pocket, gets rid of the ball. That's the first time I think he's really got hit like that after he'd thrown the ball. Howard was blitzing on the play, number 99.
Hilliard to the goal line and stopped just short. Rod Smith drove him back. The rookie out of Notre Dame saved the touchdown. Certainly Rod Smith has had a lot to crow about today, as his alma mater had the big win over the local favorites in these parts, the Boston College Eagles, yesterday.
Here again, good blocking at the point of attack. He skips through there, through the traffic, and goes right down close to the goal line on the play. Hilliard is going to get more than enough on any kind of a blocking situation like the one you just saw. A lot of guys will get just what the hold demands. He gets a lot more than the hold demands.
Midway through the 3rd quarter, the Saints looking to go into the end zone for the 4th time today. Hilliard stopped for a 1-yard loss. Well played by David Howard, who's been a standout today for New England, and Jerome Henderson was also there.
That's the first time they've tried to go outside on a advertised sweep, meaning they just toss the ball and go outside. Howard did a very good job of pursuing on the play and making the tackle.
He's in his 8th year out of Long Beach State. And only starting today because of the injury to Chris Singleton. 3rd and goal from outside the 1-yard line.
Look at that right side.
Hebert rolls to the right, and it's incomplete, intended for Hobie Brenner. And knocked away again by Jerome Henderson.
When he won back in the backfield, that's Hilliard. He's rolling to his right side. Hilliard is covered. He goes back to the tight end. Great coverage on the play.
Now a big field goal. Barnhart lost the handle. They tried to get it off quickly to surprise the Patriots, and it would have worked, but as Barnhart wound up to throw it, it slipped out of his hand.
See, that's what happens when your hand is cold and the ball is hard and also cold. A lot of times it gets to be very slippery, and that's evidently what happened on the play.
The field goal would have meant that New England needed 3 scores to catch the Saints. Now they're still only 2 touchdowns behind, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, Hank, we mentioned earlier the Saints from time to time have been criticized for being too conservative, but today they've done a few things that are out of character. That timeout at the end of the half almost got them into trouble, pinned against their own goal line. And now a chance for a field goal to give them a 17-point lead against the worst offensive team in the league. Maybe put the Patriots away. They go for the fake field goal that didn't work, and the Patriots still have a pulse. Leonard Russell out to the 16-yard line. He picked up 6 with New England backed up deep in its own end.
Yeah, that's very out of character for New Orleans to make that kind of a play in that situation.
You'd have to think a 17-point lead against New England, you're on your way to a win. Now the Patriots still have hope, although with their inability to move the ball today, it's faint hope, undoubtedly. Dante Scarnecchia says thank you very much.
Well, the only way they can win this game, New England, and that is they have to be able to make some kind of a big play down on the other end of the field, get a fumble, punt return, some kind of a big play to play in a shorter field than what they have been playing on so far.
Saints coming on a blitz. Russell couldn't get away from it. He's dropped for no gain. Vaughn Johnson, a Pro Bowl player each of the last 3 years, made the stop for New Orleans.
Patriots so far 0 for 7 on 3rd down.
In large part because they've had an average of 10.5 yards to go on 3rd down today. You're not going to make many, particularly against one of the best defenses in football when you have that far to go.
Now, it's not much fun to be a quarterback when you have to go 3rd and 10 consistently like they have.
Patriots better hurry to get this play off. Down to 5 seconds on the play clock. 2 seconds. They just did get it off. And Hodgson has time, throws for a first down. Irving Fryer wrapped up quickly by Jimmy Spencer, the backup cornerback.
Swilling blitzing on the play. Man-for-man coverage. See, this time he has pretty good protection. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball, and when you got the time to throw the ball, you're going to complete passes.
4 catches today for Irving Fryer. First and 10. New England at zone 24, trailing 21-7. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hodgson incomplete and nearly intercepted. It bounced through. Greg McMurtry went up in the air. And Brett Maxey had a shot at it before it hit the grass.
See, here again, he's got a good alley to throw the ball to. Almost had a signal for a fair catch when that ball went up in the air.
McMurtry was also an outstanding baseball player as a young man. He was drafted as an outfielder by the Boston Red Sox and elected to pursue football at the University of Michigan.
Well, he needed a big glove to catch that ball.
Hodgson 7 for 17 for only 53 yards. Throws again. Oh, he should have had a completion there, but Ben Coates, the backup tight end, dropped it.
Well, that time they have a 2-deep zone. And not much of a rush.
Saints with only 5 interceptions this year as compared to 16 last year. But as you mentioned, the Patriot coaches noted during the week that they thought the Saints secondary was much improved.
Oh, it is. There's no question about that. I think that's one of the big areas of improvement, along with the 2 tackles, especially the left tackle, Martin.
Hodgson had it deflected, and speaking of interceptions, here's another. Toy Cook. Out of bounds inside the 35-yard line of New England.
Driving Toy Cook out of bounds. It'll be first and 10 for the New Orleans Saints.
Swilling and Jackson both blitzing on the play from the outside. He still gets the ball off. Toy Cook makes the interception. A missed tackle, goes over to the sideline on the left side, finally knocked out of bounds, but again, good field position for the New Orleans Saints.
Second interception of the season for Cook. 60-year player from Stanford. He was a baseball star at Stanford for the Cardinals. First team All Pac-10 as an outfielder, starting center fielder on their team that won the College World Series in 1987.
A very alert, very smart player.
Dalton Hilliard, the ball carrier. He's inside the 30. It's Toy Cook. Cook, an excellent baseball player. Dalton Hilliard, a pretty good golfer. He told us yesterday that his handicap fluctuates between 10 and 15, and that's good enough to win some cash occasionally from some of his teammates whom he described as fishes.
When he admits to 10 to 15, you know he got to play better than that.
If he studied at your school, he certainly would. Second and 7. Nothing doing that time for the Saints is Hilliard.
You know, this defense of New England is pursuing and reacting so quickly to what they see. Their gang tackling as a result, some kind of a misdirection or reverse play, if they have it, would be very successful, especially in this part of the field.
You go back to Hugh Millen's quote about the defense has played well enough for the Patriots to be 6-2. Certainly they played well enough for them to win the game today. The first New Orleans score is the result of a fumble by John Vaughn on the 11-yard line. Hard to fault them for that. Third down and 5.
Everybody's on the line of scrimmage.
Hebert lofts it. for Hilliard. Fine catch inside the 5 and out of bounds inside the 2.
Boy, what a throw. What a throw. Man-for-man coverage. Everybody coming. Trying to put pressure. They didn't get to him. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. Throws it right over the top to Hilliard. And he almost takes it in for the touchdown. Watch it here now. On the left side of your screen. A lot of time to throw the ball. Throws it over the top.
Hebert's having a terrific day. As you said, he couldn't throw that one any better. Looked like Hilliard, the veteran, gave Howard a little nudge to clear the room needed to make that catch.
Well, and that's what you want. You want a linebacker covering the back. That's what they had. Howard trying to cover Dalton Hilliard on the play. No way he can do that.
Touchdown. After some deliberation, the officials say that Von Dunbar got in. The first rushing touchdown of the day for New Orleans as they open up a 27-7 lead.
Here we see the push. Dombrowski pulling to his right. A trap play on the last call. He goes right in between the center and Dombrowski's block, and he goes right in there for the touchdown. Good push by the offensive line.
And Anderson adds the extra point. He's made 112 in a row now. Saints have now scored following 9 of 17 turnovers by the opposition. And Jim Moore's Chargers seemingly on their way to their 5th straight win. Back in a moment. Bears having a terrific day. 13 of 18. 3 touchdown passes. Von Dunbar scored the only rushing touchdown today for New Orleans moments ago. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. Morton Anderson's extra point made it 28-7 as his kickoff comes down in the arms of Walter Stanley. Ran into his own man and went down, did Stanley, at the 22. New England on offense when we return to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Looks like the Niners will need a win tomorrow night against Atlanta to remain in the first place tie with the Saints. They lead by 21 and they have another sack, the 4th of the day, as Tommy Hudson goes down, swarmed under by Von Johnson.
Here you see again, watch Hudson back in the pocket, and Johnson gets through there. Nobody touches him on the play, and he gets another sack.
The loss of 8 on that sack by Johnson.
Hudson said yesterday, I've always been a great fan of the New Orleans Saints. I wonder if he would be a great fan after this game, the way they're being abused.
He's going down again for the 5th time. And 2nd play in succession, Jim Wilkes got him that time, the oldest player on the Saints at age 34, the 12-year veteran out of San Diego State.
Watch Wilkes now coming up the middle. We lose him there for a second, and there he is. Come in there, makes a tackle.
They mentioned that he's the oldest player on the Saints, and the Saints are the oldest team in terms of average age of their starters in the National Football League. The 22 starters average 29.2 years of age. 3rd down and 27. Well, that's a sack-free play with no chance of picking up the 1st down. Kevin Turner dropped at the 16-yard line.
And all that did was give him a chance to get a little bit more kicking room. Instead of kicking out of the end zone, they got a little bit more room to make the kick.
And this will be the last opportunity for New England with the wind, at least in regulation time, as they'll be working into the breeze in the 4th quarter with a lot of work to do. Vince Buck back to field the punt from Sean McCarthy. Down to a half minute left in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead 28-7. Buck from his own 45 and down to the 46. Eugene Lockhart, the tackle for New England. 20 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Foxborough, Massachusetts in just a moment. The Saints lead 28-7, and they have the ball back at their own 46-yard line. 1st and 10. Later today, Washington is at Seattle as Joe Gibbs goes for career coaching win number 136. That would move him into a tie for 10th place on the league's all-time coaching list.
How can 6 of you miss a play like that, huh? All 6 of it. The ball jumped out of there as soon as we made contact, and nobody. I thought you were talking about you being on the field.
Nice going. Number 10 all-time, 136 wins for the coach. He's going to catch you today, perhaps.
Well, I guess he is.
You got a guy like that catching you, that has to make you feel pretty good, because he's a terrific coach, Joe Gibbs.
Yes, he is. He really is one of the very best in the league, and I was really pumped up then, wasn't
You sure were. Rough on those poor officials. Face masked the call. David Howard was in on the tackle, and apparently got a piece of the face mask.
When I said pumped up, I mean physically.
Face mask, 99 defense, still 1st down.
Dunbar's face mask grabbed by Howard. So it's still 1st down and about 5 for New Orleans 1st down. They can let the clock run out here if they so choose in the 3rd quarter. And it appears they will. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: New Orleans 28 and New England 7. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local 5,413 at Foxborough Stadium. Many of them in the cars and heading for home as we head to the 4th quarter with the Saints up by 21. Traffic jam on Route 1 outside Foxborough Stadium. It started a little bit early today.
Looks like a marathon. Everybody escaping from the campus.
Well, Bobby Hebert has enjoyed his trip to New England, as we mentioned earlier. He brought his wife and 2 daughters along. They've been seeing some sights. Went to Paul Revere's house, Plymouth Rock. Bobby hasn't seen the sights, but he's enjoyed what he has seen of Foxborough Stadium. 3 touchdown passes today for the 7-year veteran.
He made an interesting point yesterday. He talked about playing away from home and in bad weather. He said, doesn't make any difference. I still have to do the same things. We have to block, we have to tackle, we have to throw the ball, catch the ball, run the ball. Nothing changes. Great approach.
1st and 5 on the first play of the 4th quarter. Dunbar across midfield, tripped up short of the 1st down at the 49-yard line.
You know, with Dunbar's great speed, it's amazing. You know, you very rarely ever see him have the opportunity to run outside. Most of his running is inside. And you think that maybe, especially with the defense ganging up inside like they have, that they would try to run a little bit more to the outside to give him a chance to get some big yardage on that kind of a play.
2nd and 4. Dunbar stopped short of the 1st down. Tim Edwards tripped him up behind the line of scrimmage. Edwards, a great study in perseverance. He was a 12th round draft pick out of Delta State. Spent all of last season on New England's practice squad and was a backup player to this point this year, but got a chance to start today when Ray Agnew went out with a dislocated elbow.
He looked like he was in the starting blocks then last time, the way he came, got the penetration and got across the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. 4-man rush. Hebert to Early. 1st down, New Orleans. Quinn Early to the 36-yard line. For an NFL Today update, here's Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Sean, Michael Irvin missed the team flight yesterday, catches his first touchdown pass in 4 games, the 15-yarder there from Troy Aikman. It is now 34-3. Dallas lead over Detroit in the 4th, Sean.
And the woes continue for the Lions. Almost unbeatable at home last year. And they certainly put it on the Cowboys in the playoff game last year at the Silverdome, and the Cowboys earning their measure of revenge today.
Well, Dallas really at this stage of the season is probably the best overall, well-balanced team offense, defense, and specialty teams in the league.
Bear incomplete. Should have been another completion of Frank Wainwright, but he dropped it. Hank Bear's had a nice day, but you or I could complete a lot of these passes with all the time that he's had today.
Well, I wouldn't stretch it that far, but he's having a great day. That's right. And, of course, he's very accurate. You know, some of the balls he throws, especially in traffic, are just amazing. And,
14 for 20 today, Coach, with 3 touchdown passes and, most impressively, no sacks. He's thrown for 198 yards.
And you have to give the offensive line, Richard Cooper, Dabrowski, Hilgenberg, Kennard, Brock, Brenner, all those guys are doing a super job of making things happen up front.
The reverse. Quinn Early tripped up short of a first down. He got inside the 30, went down to the 29, about 2 yards short.
Here we see the reverse. Handing off and then coming back to the backside.
9-yard line of the Patriots. It'll be 3rd down.
Good job of running. He got as much out of that play as he possibly could.
David Howard tripped him up, and if there's been a bright spot today for New England, it's been the play of David Howard starting at outside linebacker for Chris Singleton.
And Early did a good job of running the ball that time. It was designed to go outside. He saw some room inside and took advantage of it.
3rd and 2 at the New England 29.
Look at this bump and run all the way across the board. See if he tries to get something up on top. Look at all the time he's got.
And he threw for Hilliard, incomplete again. It was Howard on the coverage. Bear screaming about a pass interference flag that was not forthcoming.
See, he was trying to get the ball outside to one of the outside receivers who were in bump and run, but they had it faded in good shape, and he had plenty of time to look off the deep guys and come back and throw inside. See, look at all the time he's got to throw the ball. And he finally throws it inside. He ruled that he thought there was pass interference on the play, and it was a close call. It looked like he tackled him right about the time he was trying to make the catch.
Morton Anderson from 46. It's good. First field goal of the day for Morton Anderson. He's made 9 of his last 10 now, and the Saints open up a 24-point lead. Patriots continue to hurt themselves with turnovers, and sacks also continue to be a problem for New England. And this game, as it turns out, is going just about as you might have expected when it started. New Orleans running away.
Well, talent prevails, and we talked about that earlier. You know, they're a much, much better football team, and we talked about it earlier in the game. I really and truly think at this stage of the season, and if they can continue to stay healthy, the New Orleans Saints are one of the top 3 teams in the National Football League, and they got as much of a chance as anybody in this league to go all the way. I really believe that.
Well, Sam White said after his Buccaneers lost to the Saints last week that New Orleans is the best team in the National Football League at the moment. Interesting to hear Dalton Hilliard say yesterday that he doesn't think the Saints get that respect around the country as one of the best teams in the league. He thinks they still are out to earn that respect.
Well, I think that's a good thing at this stage, because they've got something to prove every time they play, and I think anytime you have that kind of motivation, it's good to be quiet. Nobody talks about the Saints. They talk about Dallas, they talk about Washington, they talk about all the other teams, but in the meantime, New Orleans continues to win, and that's what it's all about.
Tommy Hodson continues on at quarterback for New England, and he throws behind Mark Cook, but an outstanding catch by the Pro Bowl tight end for a gain out to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 5. Cook went to the Pro Bowl last year as a starter after leading all NFL tight ends with 82 receptions. He's from West Branch, Iowa, the town of 2000, and also the birthplace of Herbert Hoover. 2 catches today for Cook. Hodson quickly. Woo! McMurtry belted. The ball comes flying free, and finally they whistle McMurtry down. Atkins hammered him and then picked the ball away all in one motion. But they're going to give him the catch and then rule that McMurtry was down.
See, the other thing that we talk about the great defense of the New Orleans Saints. You know, normally in the past, why the blitzers and the pressure guys were Swilling and also Ricky Jackson. Now you also got Warren, and you got Martin putting a lot of pressure inside.
It was Archie Manning. Hank mentioned earlier, Archie Tommy Hodson's idol as a young man. Hodson, a devout Saints fan, and great fan of Archie Manning. Archie, as you can probably tell, working now as a broadcaster on the Saints radio network. Hodson, a knuckleball, incomplete. Intended for Pryor. Tough to tell if that was tipped or if Hodson just didn't have a good grip on it, but it was a duck over the middle, and lucky for Pryor, he didn't take a more severe shot than he did.
And you're talking about Archie Manning. He was as good as they come, really. He really was. Did everything. Ran the ball well, good leader, good strategy guy. He was a franchise player without a franchise at that particular stage of the history and growth of the New Orleans Saints.
Well, the Sean McCarthy Puntathon continues. This is his 9th of the day. Short and wobbly, and a fair catch made by Buck at the New Orleans 40. A 30-yard punt with no return. 10:47 to play in Foxborough. The Saints still on top by 24.
Chevrolet and your local Chevy dealer. AT&T, the right choice. And by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does colors like Dockers.
Sean McDonough with Hank Stram back at rapidly emptying Foxborough Stadium, and those who are departing might miss the NFL regular season debut of Scott Zolak. He's in his second year in the National Football League. Didn't take a snap at all in a regular season game last year, nor has he this year, but why not play him with the score such as it is?
Yeah, certainly. And, you know, he's a big, strong guy, 6'5", 222, played his collegiate football at Maryland. They like him very much.
Bears still in the ball game for New Orleans. Deflected pass and intercepted by Vincent Brown. He ran in a fumble last week for a touchdown against Buffalo. He may take this one in. And watch the spike. He said last week I didn't have a good spike. If I have another chance, I'll do better. They're not going to give him the chance.
No, he's so happy about the touchdown, he forgot about spiking the ball.
So that was his only regret after the fumble that he ran in last week up at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, that he had a lousy spike. This time they took the ball away as he was lining it up.
Yeah,
49 yards on the return.
They're in a 3-deep zone. The ball was deflected, you see, and jumps up into the air, and there you see him running down the sideline going in for the touchdown.
Pretty good moves.
Oh, good move, and he runs well, and of course I think he's one of the very best players on this football team.
Second touchdown of the year. He told us yesterday he could never recall having scored a touchdown at any time in his football playing career, in high school or in college, prior to last week. Now he has 2 in as many weeks. The play set up by the deflected ball. It looked like Tim Goad, the nose tackle, got a piece of Hebert's pass. Well, that's the only black mark on the record of Bobby Hebert today. And the Patriots are within 17 with 10.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Coming up next, it's the Amoco Centel Championship featuring top PGA Tour players in their 40s. And the leader after 3 rounds, Don Pooley, by 8 shots over Mark McCumber and Bruce Fleischer. Howard Twitty, Leonard Thompson, and Bruce Litsky still in the hunt. They'll all have a lot of work to do to catch Don Pooley coming up next on CBS Sports. So it's a 17-point lead for the Saints. And those hardy souls that remain, managing to find some enjoyment. There's a lot of concern in these parts that this football team won't be here much longer. The owner of the team, James Orthwine, is from St. Louis. He's lived there all his life. And there continue to be rumors that he intends to move the team to St. Louis if they can't get an expansion franchise in the next couple of years. And he continues to maintain that it's not his plan to move it, but there are many around here who don't believe that.
Well, I think that's really the opinion of most people around. I think they kind of expect the move. They really do. And it'll be interesting to see if that'll happen in the unforeseeable future.
Charlie Bauman kicks off. Vaughn Dunbar. Out to the 33-yard line, tackled by Kevin Turner, who's had a good day covering kicks for New England. Patriots like Turner, backup fullback, and a rookie out of the University of Alabama. We may see more action as the Patriots ride out this agonizing season.
You know, I'm surprised that they don't do something with Hebert. Why they don't take him out, let one of their other quarterbacks finish this game with a score like it is.
Certainly Mike Buck, the backup quarterback, could use the experience for New Orleans. I was surprised he was in there on the last series when he threw the interception.
Yep.
Steve Walsh, by the way, is inactive today. 1st and 10. New Orleans from its own 33. Von Dunbar across the 35 and out to the 36 for 3 yards. And again, David Howard got up from the bottom of the pile for New England.
You have to give New England a lot of credit for the way they've been able to operate defensively against the run. However, they ganged up so much on the run that the passing of New Orleans has been very, very outstanding, very effective. And the other thing about it was the fact that they never really put any kind of pressure on Hebert throughout the game. None whatsoever.
2nd and 7. Hebert wisely waiting till the play clock ticked down to 2. And Dunbar gets a couple of more. He's tripped up just short of the 40. Fred Smerlis, the veteran backup nose tackle, made the play.
You know, again, Sean, we're talking about the great protection for Hebert, and when you talk about protection, you have to talk about the offensive line. We talked about him earlier, but this is a very, very strong, experienced, excellent offensive line with Cooper, Dombrowski, Hilgenberg, Kennard, Brock, and Brenner.
Again, Hebert lets the clock run down. They snap it with 4 left on the play clock. Hebert pressured this time, and he threw it much too long. Intended for Eric Martin. Again, David Howard was in the face of Bobby Hebert.
Again, I would take him out of there. I wouldn't want to take the chance of getting him hurt the way he's playing, and as much as this team needs Bobby Hebert at the quarterback position.
Hebert has missed his last 4. Jim Moore pacing just a bit now as the Patriots will get the ball back. Better than 8.5 minutes to play. New Orleans leading by 17 points as Walter Stanley awaits the punt from Tommy Barnhart. Who came after it that time? Stanley at the 19. Taken out of bounds by Toy Cook at the 29. A return of 10 yards for Walter Stanley after a 42-yard punt by Barnhart. We talk about the experience of the Saints and their age collectively. Barnhart, 29 years old. And the average age of the New Orleans starters, 29.2. That makes them the oldest team in the league. So they've been there in the playoffs the last 2 years, but time might be running out for this nucleus to
Well, I think the players feel that, you know, but I think they've done a terrific job. They got good people. They've been building and building and building. You have to give Jim Finks an awful lot of credit for the great job that he's done of bringing in talent along with Bill Kaharick and, of course, Jim Moore and his excellent coaching staff. But they know what they're doing. They know how to win, and they keep getting better and better. Like, for example, this year they had to help in their secondary, and they got that help.
Scott Solak making his NFL debut, slides down and picked up yardage to the 34-yard line. A gain of 5 yards for Solak on his first ever regular season snap in the National Football League. He's in his second year out of the University of Maryland, 6'5", 222, and as Hank mentioned, has a strong arm according to the Patriot coaches. He got that one into Greg McMurtry for a gain of only a couple to the 36, still 3 yards short of a first down.
I guess they also say he's the fun guy on the team.
He's an artist, draws a lot of humorous illustrations, and he's the team comedian. Solak field as he threw, looking for Cook. It's incomplete. And the fans groan as the punting unit comes on. They figure the Patriots don't have much to lose to go for it at 0-8 and trailing by 17 points with 7.5 minutes to go. You'd be inclined to agree with the crowd. What do you have to lose? Perhaps they're trying to get Sean McCarthy up to some sort of punt record.
He's going to have to jump in a whirlpool when he gets through and soak that leg.
Fair catch. Vince Buck, he's had plenty of practice at that as well. We haven't seen Dowdell since his fumble back in the first half. That's a punt of 38 for the leg-weary Sean McCarthy. Back in a moment. Good part one, too.
I hope they show that on the airplane. They won't show it on the plane, will they?
7.5 to play here in Foxborough. The Saints with the ball in a 17-point lead. It is still Bobby Hebert at quarterback. He goes down the middle, incomplete. Well, he has started to lose the range after being right on the mark early on, and lately he's had a bit more of a rush to contend with.
He got a bad shot the last time he was in. Now he got another one. I'd get the hook and get him out of there. I really would.
Tim Gold got to him that time. Hebert was 14 of 19, but he's missed his last 5. He's now 14 of 24, still stuck on 198 yards passing. New Orleans has been the leading team in the league 3 of the last 4 years in time of possession, in large part because of their defense. The opponents go 3 plays in front so often. Dunbar tripped up by Jerome Henderson. Eugene Lockhart finished him off.
We talked about that play a little while ago. That's the first time he's run outside so far in this game. An advertised sweep it was, and he picked up a nice gain on the play.
We're talking about the work of the Patriot defense today. The Saints have gone 3 plays and out 8 times today in 13 possessions. There is an injury on the play. That stat actually pertained to the Patriots, and the injured player is Jerome Henderson, second-year defensive back out of Clemson. Sean McDonough with Hank Stram. We'd like to thank all the people who have assisted us here in the booth today. Our statistician, Pat McGrath, our spotter, Peter Ladman, our booth runner, Matt Damon, Sarah Mann, and Maurice Spencer also assisting us here in the booth. We have a lot of celebrities here today. Maurice played for Coach Stram. Matt Damon, the star of the movie School Ties, Paramount released this fall. Peter Ladman, a former Harvard tennis great. We are surrounded by greatness, including the illustrious Mr. McGrath and Ms. Mann.
Now we got this booth with all the celebrities.
About all we have room for in this booth.
We need an ejection seat to get some out.
On 3rd and 3, it's incomplete. Rod Smith, the coverage on Eric Martin. So the Saints' offensive sharpness certainly has disappeared here in the last few minutes.
Well, it's a good time for it to disappear with a lead like they have and the control of the game like they have.
Rod Smith has played well tonight. We mentioned that Bobby Hebert singled him out for praise yesterday, since Smith is playing as well as any rookie defensive back in the league, and he's made Hebert look like a prophet today. This is the 16th punt of the game, the 6th by New Orleans. Barnhart to Stanley, and he brought it back to the 47-yard line. 19-yard return for Stanley. James Williams made the tackle.
You know, talking about the Saints, the other thing that we very rarely get an opportunity to touch on is the fact that the conditioning program of the New Orleans Saints has been very, very outstanding. They've been able to stay healthy all season long, and that's a great compliment to Russell Paternoster, who has done a terrific job with their strength and conditioning program. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design, and Alvin Roy, who was with us for such a long period of time from LSU, who did such a great job in the National Football League, and he's one of the reasons why the conditioning programs around the National Football League have reached a level that they have. He started it all back in 1966.
Zolak complete to John Vaughn into New Orleans territory. And down at the 46-yard line, tackled by Toy Cook. The Patriots appear to be going without a huddle as Zolak brings them up to the line of scrimmage with under 6:20 to play in the fourth quarter, and with New Orleans leading 31-14.
He was just waving at us. You see him?
Zolak throws, intercepted. Gene Atkins. They're ruling him down. He appeared to realize that he was down, then didn't hear any whistles, so tried to run. Scott Zolak has just thrown his first NFL interception in the arms of Gene Atkins. That's the third turnover by the Patriots today.
Here we see the shot. And again, Zolak really has a good arm. Watching him throw the ball in the pregame warm-ups after listening to the coaches talk about him yesterday, you have to be impressed with his size. He's 6'5", 222, played at Maryland, and the gun. He's got a good gun, I guarantee you.
Atkins with a second interception of the season. Patriots coaches yesterday compared Zolak's arm strength to that of their regular starting quarterback, Hugh Millen, who may return for New England next week, despite the fact that his left shoulder is still separated. Zolak on the phone with offensive coordinator Dick Corey. Still a Barrett quarterback. Von Dunbar with a tough run. He might have picked up the first down with all that effort. Deion Lambert made the tackle, but Dunbar has the first down out at the 40. Gain of 11. Jim Mora on a way to a record of 7-2 this season, Nick.
Yeah, Jim Mora and his coaching staff have really done a great job of coaching this team and teaching this team. That's what coaching is all about, teaching, and they're excellent teachers.
Coming off the 11-5 season of a year ago and the Saints' first ever NFC West title. Before Jim Mora arrived on the scene, the Saints had gone 19 seasons in their history without a winning year. They've had 4 winning seasons in 6 years with Mora, 3 trips to the playoffs, and they're seemingly on their way toward a winning season in the playoffs again in 1992. Dunbar, the carry. He's down behind the line of scrimmage.
As I mentioned earlier, too, I really think this team is going to get better and better as they go through the rest of this season offensively. They've reached a very good level of excellence from a defensive standpoint. They're especially teams. They still have to come up with a punt returner. They're still not very efficient in that particular area. That's really the only shortcoming on their specialty teams. But the rest of it, I think, is very strong, and the offense is going to get better and better.
Second and 11. Greg Hayward driven back. Eugene Lockhart at the bottom of the pile, as was Chris Gannon, the defensive end, number 91. And the officials have to separate the combatants as we tick down under 4 minutes to play. New Orleans on its way to its 5th straight win with a record of 31, or the score of 31-14, and a record about to be 7-2, and that means San Francisco will have to beat Atlanta tomorrow night to keep pace.
And I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow night to do that game for Monday Night Football, and it should be a dandy.
These two teams go head-to-head with the Saints and the 49ers next week. 4 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. Hebert called the timeout with 1 second left on the play clock. And with the Saints looking at 3rd down and 8.
You know, the other thing about it is that the Saints are going to have an advantage playing the 49ers next week because because they're playing in Atlanta, tomorrow night on a Monday night, and then they have to travel back where they're going to blow Tuesday, so they're going to have a very short week to get ready to play New Orleans next week in San Francisco.
And as the Saints look ahead to the excitement of a race for the playoffs and a possible division title, the Patriots are trying to avoid the prospect of becoming the first ever 0-16 team in NFL history. Tampa Bay in its first year went 0-14 before the National Football League went to a 16-game regular season schedule. Several times in the 16-game format, 4 to be exact. Teams have won only 1 game, including the Patriots 2 years ago in their only season under head coach Rod Rust. Indianapolis last year won only 1. And fans here in New England are already considering the 0-16 possibility. And will Dick McPherson return to the sidelines in 1992? Now 3rd down and 8. Long throw over the head of Quinn Early. That'll bring up 4th down. Speaking of the prospect of 0-16 for New England, they have some tough games ahead at Indianapolis, and the Colts are much improved. That's next week. They still have a trip to Atlanta and Kansas City. They finish up at Cincinnati and at home with Miami to the Patriots after the 5 games that you saw. Barnhart. Stanley made the fair catch at the 17. A 40-yard punt for Tommy Barnhart. It's not nothing to diminish his reputation today. As a matter of fact, some say that kickers who kick in domes have inflated stats because of the conditions, but he came into today with a better punting average outdoors than he had inside the domes this year.
Well, one thing about it, if he doesn't make the Pro Bowl, you ought to have an investigation because he earned the right to be in the Pro Bowl. He's, I think, the very finest punter in the National Football League at this stage of his career.
Marcus Dowdell has to wonder about his future with the Saints. Another fumble today. Barnhart, by the way, has averaged 41.4 per punt today. Zolak hit as he threw, incomplete. Had to dump it off to Greg McMurtry. You really can't fault the New England quarterbacks for very much this season because the line play and protection has not been of NFL caliber.
Well, for example, going into this game, Pat Harlow last week played right tackle. This week he's playing left tackle. Larry Williams did not play. They moved him into left guard. Rakowski was a backup. He's playing right guard. And, of course, the right guard is playing right tackle, Eugene Chung. So, it's a League of Nations offensive line, and it played like that this afternoon.
Zolak dumped it off to Cook. And the Patriots looking at 3rd and long. Only 79 yards of total offense today for New England.
And back to the offensive line. If you're going to have consistency and continuity in any area of your football team, you want it with your offensive line.
In recent years, they've been using first-round draft picks to draft linemen. Pat Harlow 2 years ago, Eugene Chung in the first round this year, but it is still not a well-playing unit. The fans groaned again as they're going to punt on 4th and 2. We were kidding moments ago about maybe they're trying to get Sean McCarthy the punt record, and maybe that is what they're trying to do, because if he does punt it, it will be his 11th of the day, which will tie him for the team record for punts in a game. We've been here on a record-setting day in Foxborough.
He's going to need a rub down. He's going to run in and lay on a table and get a rub down right after the game.
He is a former quarterback at Purdue, so perhaps they have a trick up their sleeves. We'll find out in a moment. Dallas poured it on Detroit. Philadelphia doing the same with under 5 minutes to go to the Raiders. Giants starting to put it together on their way to their 5th win. Minnesota now 7-2, as are the Dolphins. They shut out Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome. Cleveland on the verge, seconds away from the upset, in fact, at Houston. Apparently a day of one-sided games around the NFL today. Hebert still in there, as is Dunbar. He went grinding out to the 47-yard line. And the Patriots have called a timeout. They wouldn't go for it on 4th and 2, but now they're going to try to attempt to come back with their timeouts down by 17. There are certain things among coaches in the National Football League that I don't understand, and this is an example.
Well, I think what happens, the mentality of that, I've talked about it several times. You know, Sean, what happens, you talk to your team about never giving up, never quitting, and as a result, this is an illustration.
Well, then go for it on 4th and 2.
That's right, but it isn't consistent. Right. Exactly right.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. It was not the least bit consistent. And a tough day for Dante Scarnecchia. It should be noted that he was very reluctant to step into this role. That, as you mentioned earlier, he said this was Dick McPherson's team, and he was offended by any suggestion that this was a great opportunity for him in his coaching career to make a name for himself. He would much prefer just to remain the special teams coach.
Well, the way this team has played this afternoon, he might be reluctant to keep that responsibility next week. He might want to give it musical coach. Change off every week.
New England PR staff informed us yesterday that these wins or losses for the Patriots in Dick McPherson's absence would go onto his record as the coach of the Patriots, despite the fact that he is not in attendance. He is still officially the head coach. Ron Dunbar the carry again. Saints into Patriot territory. We showed you the road ahead for New England. How about the 5 games on tap for the New Orleans Saints over the next 5 weeks? The big one next Sunday here on CBS at 4 Eastern time out at San Francisco. And some tough sledding at home with 3 tough opponents at the Superdome: Washington, Miami, and Atlanta, and then out to Los Angeles to face the Rams.
And the Rams are getting better and better as they go along under Chuck Knox.
New England has used another timeout. With a minute 38 to play, they have only 1 left. Now the task for the Patriot coaches, Hank, has to be to continue to get them to show up and play hard every week. To this point, to their credit, they've done that, but you have to wonder what will continue to motivate them as things get uglier and uglier.
Well, you have to be a great salesman to be in a coaching business, and that's the job that they have. You have to sell your team in the idea that yesterday's game, this one, for example, tomorrow, can say, listen, it's ancient history. We got to forget about it and come back, do the best we can. That's what the selling is all about.
Dunbar stopped short of the first down. And will the Patriots use their final timeout? Yes, they will. With a minute 29 to play. 4th down upcoming for New Orleans. Today's game was produced by Dan Forer and directed by Kathy Barretto. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. And the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. And if there's anybody else at CBS involved with this telecast and we have not mentioned, we apologize. Particularly a salute today to our camera people and crew members who are out in the elements on this cold and growing colder day in Foxborough.
Murphy wanted to play golf today. He doesn't care about the weather. He doesn't know it's cold.
Wouldn't have any trouble getting a tee time. Tim Goad and the Patriots look ahead. They wanted very badly to win this one for Coach McPherson. As we mentioned at the outset, Irving Pryor talked with Coach Mack a couple of days ago and said, how'd you like it if we won the game and brought the game ball up to the hospital? But that's not going to happen.
You can have all the motivation and all the enthusiasm and emotion you can talk about, but you still have to have talent first, and this team doesn't have the talent to win. Not at this stage, not against a fine team like New Orleans.
Barnhart had it roll right along the goal line for a while before tumbling into the end zone. 47 yards on the punt for Tommy Barnhart. 17-point lead for New Orleans. They led by 14 at the half at 21-7. For the most part, they've been in command throughout. Jumped off to a 14-0 lead. The Patriots made it 14-7. Then it was 21-7 at the break. Grew to be 31-7 before the interception return for a touchdown by New England's Vincent Brown that made it 31-14. Scott Zolak out of the shotgun on first down from the New England 20. Marv Cook down to the 26. Maryland has produced some fine NFL quarterbacks in recent years. Zolak, the latest in the line that includes Neil O'Donnell of the Steelers and Boomer Esiason.
Yes, and this young guy really looks like a good prospect. He looks like he's got a lot of poise, and we talked about his great arm.
Not very good hands at the moment, however.
It's always the case. As soon as you start talking and bragging about somebody, they blow a play.
He went down back at the 20. Now it's 3rd and 10. 45 seconds to play. Zolak in trouble. Got away from it. Now he'll run. He has the first down. The Atkins covered him at the 33-yard line. That's a pickup of 13 for Zolak. That's just the 6th first down of the game for New England. Ben Coates couldn't squeeze it.
Second down.
Time for one more play, perhaps two for New England with 8 seconds remaining. Ben Coates lost the football. What a fitting conclusion to this one.
Yeah, he started to run with it and realized he didn't have the ball, so he came back to try to get it. But it was already on the ground.
One microscopic bit of consolation for the Patriots. They did recover the fumble. So no miracle for Dante Scarnecchia today in the New England Patriots. They remain the only winless team in the National Football League at 0-9 now. And Jim Mora and the Saints have won 5 in a row as they go to 7-2 and all alone in first place at the moment in the NFC West, pending the outcome of tomorrow's 49er game. Hank, clearly the best team won today. If that wasn't already clearly evident.
Yeah, we've never seen a more obvious mismatch than this one this afternoon.
Now for Hank Stram, I'm Sean McDonough saying so long from Foxborough Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The final score, New Orleans 31, New England 14. Coming up next, stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this.